Hey, how's it going? I'm Jacob, co-founder of IcePanel. IcePanel helps software dev teams communicate and plan technical design changes through a modeling and diagramming tool. We use the C4 model to help you show different levels of detail to the different audiences that you work with, such as business stakeholders, product people, developers, and operations. You can think of us as in a way to create an interactive map of your software systems, letting you zoom in and out of detail when you need it, all linked together through modeling and even linked to your code as well. Let me quickly show you around so you can get an idea of how it works and see whether it might be a tool that you can make use of. So what we're looking at here is a high-level context diagram. Now this is designed to essentially help anyone in your organization see and understand how you're helping your customers. Here we can see we've got our IcePanel.io system here. So this is actually how IcePanel works. We can see a few third parties that we're utilizing to enable our solution. And then we can see our user here and what it interacts with as part of this solution too. Now, because we're a model-based system, this means that when you select an object, you can get more information about it on the right-hand side, such as the connections that it has. We can even jump in and view dependencies, such as incoming and outgoing dependencies there. So this is a way for us to deep dive, not just into the diagram and what that shows, but also other diagrams that it's utilizing. Some interesting bits of information, like I mentioned, we can see the different diagrams, we can see which owner owns a particular object, and more information about this particular object here. Now let's dive inside of the IcePanel.io object and take a look at how it works beneath the surface. So we zoom in, we can see the apps and stores that sit inside of our IcePanel object, such as our web app here. We have our API service, automation service, for example. And these are objects that are individually runnable and or deployable inside of our solution. If we want, we can dive a level deeper, such as the automation service. We can zoom into the third level of detail and take a look at the components that sit inside of the automation service there as well, to get a little bit more detail as to how things work. But let's zoom up and we'll focus mostly at the second level. So now we can have a look at how these objects work. If we select the automation service, we can see a little bit more information about it on the right too, such as technology choices. We're using Cloud Run, Node.js, and TypeScript to allow this to run. A few other tags, here as well, owners, etc. Now, what we can do is actually show that information inside the diagrams to see other levels of detail and kind of overlay bits of information on top of this diagram. If we go to our technology tag group here, we can see all of the technology choices that we have inside of our diagram here, such as schedulers, storage units, Firebase there. We can see what's using Node, NoSQL database there as well. So this is helpful to turn on different levels of detail on the fly. We can also go to something like risk. Here we have our risk tag group enabled, and we can see what's high, medium, or low risk inside of our design. Maybe we're interested in cost. We can do the same, such as what's medium or low cost, regions, host names. These are just examples of how this can be used. But it's very, very customizable for you to overlay additional levels of detail to your diagrams. Now, we can also overlay user journeys on top of this diagram. So this is showing a very basic kind of simple version of how a user interacts with these services. But say we're interested, let me move my face out the way, in something like user collaboration. We can jump into exactly seeing how user collaboration works in terms of this diagram. So here now we're seeing, step one, we're subscribing to collections using socket.io. We can step through this specific user collaboration journey to see how it's working. It's a really nice way to go through the diagram step by step and see how things work. Really, really useful for onboarding. Now we can also pair this with our tag system. So we can take a look, through the steps and what's high, medium, low risk, whilst going through the flow there as well. So it's a really nice way to pair those different bits of information to get a much deeper look into how things work. Let's reset the camera. And so that's a really quick intro into the tool. And there's lots of things that I haven't been able to go through, but go into the tool, take a look and see how it works. They're kind of the main things that are really worth checking out first. Let us know your feedback if you have any ideas or you want more detail into how the tool works. Please reach out to us, we'd be happy to help, and of course, stay chill.